So it's another morning, day four of four of my daily vlogs that I'm going to be doing here in Hong Kong. I just finished talking to a group of pretty cool old guys. Hello! 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 That see me hanging around down here every morning. They're what I was doing, so I was showing them all my time-lapse videos. Over there was way too windy, and I put my microphone underneath my scarf, so hopefully that should help. So this is my last of my daily vlog. Lasted 4 days while I'm here in Hong Kong, and we'll see when I get back to Vancouver if I'll continue doing this or not. If I do, it won't be a daily vlog. That's just crazy. It'd probably be maybe a weekly vlog, like once a week. The subject of this morning's vlog is about photography while traveling, and I thought about what is it about travel photography that appeals to me, and it's not what would appeal to the average person, which is usually people want to travel and go to the sites and see and take pictures of what everybody else takes pictures of, like what a certain place is known for. Man, that wind is really strong. Travel versus street photography, that's right. When I travel and I take pictures, one of the things I like to do is to stay in a city for as long as I can so that I can feel like so I don't feel like a tourist. So instead of taking bus tours, like my father was the same way when we grew up. He worked in the travel industry for 30, 40 years. And whenever we went to a city like Mexico City. So I've been to Mexico once, but I've never been to any of the resorts. My father plopped us in the middle of Mexico City in the early 80s, and that was a very scary time in Mexico's history in terms of tourists arriving in the early 80s. Entire families sleeping on sidewalks. Like, we cried when we landed in Mexico City because we just never saw that type of poverty. Like, homeless, you didn't see entire families homeless, and kids trying to sell chiclets one by one and playing flutes, and we were just scared. But my father did not have a game plan in terms of, like, this is a bus tour group. Like, we took a taxi to the airport, to the hotel, and then every day we just kind of like wandered the streets, and every day was different. And that's really what I learned about travel photography, is that, okay, we didn't look like locals there, but we tried to be like locals. Like, we ate what the locals ate. We went to the markets like the locals went to the markets. And so I have the same sort of theory. Like, when I go to Tokyo or to especially like Hong Kong, I stay here long enough so that I eat where the locals eat in general, and I go where the locals go. I actually try to stay away as much as possible from the huge touristy kind of places. So my wife and I like hanging out in Mongkok on the street markets, which tourists do go there. But I go through the alleyways, and I try to go to areas where, like, I seek street photography type images, which to me is, when you say street, I guess there's a sense of authenticity to that, or the pictures aren't orchestrated, and the people themselves are not the most important, and neither is the environment, meaning the background of the street. But it's the merging of the two, the people and the environment and the everydayness of the image. I find that those are my strongest pictures, or the pictures that I enjoy the most about when I do street photography. So it doesn't matter if it's in my own city or a visiting city. Once I get the feeling of a city and how people work and live and how they commute and where they eat and things like that, picking up social norms and habits, then I try to capture that that's what I really enjoy about travel photography. So when I go to a city like, I'm looking forward to going to like London and Paris, it's the same thing. I mean, I'll do all the sites and the places that everyone wants to go, but I'm more interested in going into the back streets and seeing, you know, daily Parisian life or daily London life, and try to capture that with sort of an aesthetic quality. Because like Bresson, I do care a lot about composition and how, you know, even if there were no people in the image, can the image stand on its own merit? And then when you add that extra flavor, that salt, you know, of people in the image, then you get this great image, that the combination of environment and people. And that's what I always enjoyed about National Geographic images as well. Why do I take pictures? That's a hard one to answer. Nobody really asked me that. I'm just asking this of myself. Why do I take pictures? In my mind, I actually love movies, but to me, taking, like being a cinematographer seemed complicated, especially growing up in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Video production wasn't as easy as it is now. Now it's not easy to make a great cinematic movie, I'm not saying that, but just even the equipment part of it, it was quite a process. But I always saw things in a cinematic way. So in all my images, I've always wanted to sort of, like, I wanted each image to look like as if it came out of a movie, and as well that you could almost sense motion. So I've always tried to give a sense of motion in as many of my images as possible. Not every picture, but many of my pictures. And so it is a form of creative expression for myself. Like the way I've never seen images as I'm taking a picture, as in I'm just capturing reality, but I always wanted to, like through like even musicians who use instruments as a form of expression, as I do, because I do play music as well. But photography is the same way. It's in a way for me to express myself in a visual way, and how I feel and how I see the world and how I want to communicate that with other people. So that's sort of why I take pictures. And so that doesn't matter if I'm traveling or not. Traveling has its benefits, but it also has its weaknesses. You have to build new relationships with people. You have to build, if there's a language barrier or not. You need to know where the sun is, so the sun is to my right here. And, back in your home, when the sun rises, when it sets, where the best lighting is, where the best streets are for that sort of thing. And when you're traveling, you got to relearn those things. So in terms of the technical aspects of photography, those things are harder when you're traveling, but you do get more creative juices because it's a new city and you're excited about that. But there's a nice balance. So I am looking forward to getting back to Vancouver. You always learn things as you take pictures, and so the things I've learned here in Hong Kong, I'll take that back with me and I'll try to apply that back in Vancouver. But as I mentioned in my previous vlog, you should have a decent skill set and a very clear developed style and vision even before you go on vacation. Don't expect the environment to all of a sudden you become this certain style of photographer because of the city. No, you had that skill, or you should be developing that skill even before you visit that city. And so that's my takeaway for me, that I'm still shooting the same way that I shoot even before I came on vacation. And you'll probably see that in my images. But of course, I picked up new things as well when I decided to come here to Hong Kong. So hopefully you'll see that I've matured a little bit, but as well, my principal style of photography has not changed. I mean, there's a few things that I haven't done. So maybe today, my last day, we'll see if I can pull something off, but if not, it's all right. I'll just wait till I get back to Vancouver. So thank you so much. I don't know when the next one of these I'm gonna do, but hopefully, as I mentioned, if the series does well and I get good comments and good feedback from it, then I will try to keep this as a regular once a week vlog, if that's even possible, if I can even call it a vlog if it's once a week. So thank you so much for watching here from Hong Kong, my last day. We'll see you back in Vancouver. Talk to you soon.